Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm the OPJellicent and we're back here on Pokemon Showdown. I'm going to be building an OU team around Mega Latios, then I'll be hopping on the ladder to test out the team, make improvements, and the final iteration of the team will be down below in the description for all of you to try out. So let's just go ahead and get right into this. So looking at Mega Latios, absolutely love its power. Base 160 special attack is insane. The speed tier is really nice too, allows it to outspeed with opposing Mega Deontay, Mega Gallade, and whatnot. So if we can chip those down, we can go ahead and maybe knock those out with Psychic. We have Earthquake on the set just for Heatran because we're definitely going to add Pokemon that can take advantage of Heatran removal due to this Earthquake tech right here. And then of course Ice Beam just to be able to go ahead and check Garchomp and Landorus-Therian and whatnot. You can also put Hidden Power Fire over Recover, but the reliable recovery is kind of a necessity just because you really don't want to get worn down by hazards and U-turn ship and all that, because this will be a pivot into a lot of Pokemon. So I really like the recover right here. And in terms of Pokemon that I think pair really well with Mega Latios offensively, win conditions such as Scarf Kartana, Scarf Blacephalon, those are definitely Pokemon that come to mind. Shift Gear Z Magearna is also something that's very viable. I think Choice Scarf Kartana or Choice Scarf Serp are one of the better options. Now I think Kartana is better for two reasons, just due to the accuracy alone of Leaf Blade versus Leaf Storm, as well as the fact that Mega Latios is primarily a special attacker, and we definitely want to build on our physical offense right here. So I think Scarf Kartana is definitely one of our better bets right here. I think I just run 4 attacks. I really don't see the need to run Defog on this, because I might add Hazard Control later. The combination of these two are really weak to opposing Steel types though, like Celesteela, Skarm, so we'll see what we can do about that. Probably not going to use Magnezone again, but we'll see. I'll go right here with Knockoff, probably Sacred Sword, and then Smart Strike, that sounds fine. And of course, just the standard EV spread of Max with a Jolly Nature, and 4 in Defense right here, because we already have the odd HP stat. Not that it would matter, because you're not going to come out on rocks 14 times in one game, but yeah, definitely like the start right here. Like I said, really weak to steals, so we want a way to go ahead and deal with those. Hazards would definitely be very helpful right here too, as well as potentially momentum giving Pokemon. And the team is not really weak to hazards because we have 2 Pokemon immune to Toxic Spikes, we have 1 immune to Sticky Webs, and then the other one's a Choice Scarfers, so I think I'll hold off on Hazard Control right now, and depending on how I go from the team from this point, we can go ahead and add it later right here, but I want hazards of my own. Both of these Pokemon love hazards, so let's see what we can go ahead and do about that. Jirachi is a Pokemon that comes to mind when we can go ahead and just get a hazards and also provide us momentum. Landorus-T is also another option. I actually like Landorus-T a lot because Tapu Bulu is something that could go ahead and give this Pokemon trouble. And we could run defensive Flyinium Z Lando. I actually really like that set now. I used to run Helmet a lot, but the defensive Fly Z set is definitely a very solid set right here. So that's probably what I'm leaning towards right here. Are there any other rockers that scream out to me that I want to run them? Not really in particular. I don't really want to run Heatran. As good of an opposing Steel type check as it is, I feel like we can maybe add something later. Let's go ahead and go with Landorus, even though I'm building more of my Steel weakness because none of these Pokemon break through Steel or Skarm or anything like that. So we're going to have to go ahead and fix that, but let's run Flyinium Z, Landorus-T right here with Earthquake, Fly, U-turn, and Stealth Rock. So that's totally fine. So because Zygarde got banned, you really don't need Hidden Power Ice on these anymore. I'll go ahead and just run 248. And then I believe they run 112 defense and then 148 in speed. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's 144 and then they just run max HP. Because like the stats are not really going to matter here. And then we can go ahead and just run plus defense with a minus special attack nature. The speed is for something. I believe it's for maybe modest Heatran. Let me go ahead and check that. I'm pretty sure that hits about 277 or 253. Yeah, 253. So we have 254 on this for modest Heatran right here. I knew it was for something like that, so we need to somehow break through Celesteela, Skarm, and Mega Scizor. None of these Pokemon do that. So fire types definitely are something we need. Either that or Magnezone, but I don't want to run Magnezone again. Actually, Magnezone will look amazing here, I'm not going to lie. Magnezone is actually so good. Can I do anything else but use Magnezone? It's either Magnezone or Heatran, is what I'm seeing right here. Nothing else in particular is going to help us out, and because I already have a Stealth Rocker, I think I just run Magnezone. And in all honesty, it would help me complete my Volturn core, and we really need a way to trap Steel types with this team, so I think I'll do Magnezone today, and we'll go ahead and run the Choice Scarf variant. I already have a Choice Scarf Steel, though. I could run Specs. Yeah, I don't think I need double Scarf here. Let's go ahead and run. I already have a Z-move user, so I can't really run the sub-Z set. Let's just go ahead and run Choice Specs right here with the Modest Nature, and then we'll go ahead and run Max Speed, of course. And then the 4 we can just put into defense. Wow, this actually has really nice defensive stats. Never actually realized that. Let's go ahead and run Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Flash Cannon, and Hidden Power Fire. So that's totally fine. I tapped in Power. I need power here. So let's see. I really like... So this basically solved all our problems with Celesteela Skarm. It's not really a pivot in because we don't really want to take an Earthquake or a Fire Blast from Celesteela while we're coming in. So I gotta be careful about that. But Hazard Control. Am I still weak to hazards? All 4 of our Pokemon are immune to Toxic Spikes. I like that a lot about this team already. That definitely looks very cool right here. We already have an Electric, so I really don't need another switch into another Electric type like Coco or anything. Feeny looks like good hazard control because even if we had Dragon Stab in our Latios, we would be levitating. What other options? Torn is a good bet right here. I have defensive Landorus-T for Kartana though, so I don't think that's the biggest deal in this scenario. Clefable is a cool rocker too, but I feel like that's more geared towards balance builds if anything. I'm looking for hazard control, not hazards. So I need either Torn or I need... I don't know, what other options are there? Rotom Wash? Water Electric? I already have an Electric. So it's either Feeny or Torn. I don't really want Coco. Helmet Torn. Would Helmet Torn help me at all, or would Feeny? Feeny would provide me an Ask Ninja switch in, which is actually really valuable here. Yeah, Defog Feeny, or I guess Mew wouldn't help me out at all. Tough decision here. What to do? I like the Feeny. Let's go to run Feeny here with lefties. And then I think I'll actually run just the max speed set. A lot of them like to actually run like, I believe it's 156 speed for, I think it's Modest Heatran. No, actually I think it's this speed tier right here for Modest Heatran. So I'm going to go ahead and just run max speed though, because the Timid Nature allows us to outspeed Pokemon like Mega Gyarados, so they cannot go ahead and outspeed me. I can Moonblast those, as well as the Dragonite of course. So let's go ahead and do this. And then put to the, why am I putting a minus special attack nature on this? Minus attack, and then we can put the 8 in special attack, because why not? And then, let's go ahead and run Moonblast. Defog, Nature's Madness, and Taunt, that's fine. Do I need Water Stab for anything? What would Water Stab help me with? Heatran, I have ways to break Heatran with this team between Earthquake, Latios, and Landorus-T. Water Stab would also help me out against Gliscor, which, Gliscor actually looks like a problem. Do have Ice Beam on this. I can just Taunt Nature's Madness it though, and I don't think any Gliscor runs max speed, so I should be fine. So we have 1 slot left. Let's see what we're particularly weak to. Not really anything. We have double steel. I mean, I would love another steel type. Triple steel does not sound bad at all. I run that a lot too because there's so many prominent fairies now between like Magearna, Tapu Lele. Those are all such good Pokemon. So, and yeah, both of my steel types are offensive steels right here, so they don't switch in. So a triple steel. Do I really want to do that? What would my third steel type be? I guess maybe Magearna? Magearna's fine. Would give me a third Volt Switcher. Ferrothorn could be cool too, just for like a secondary Askren check and maybe spikes on the team. Not a bad idea. Clown. Scarf Clown's a threat, but we have a Scarfer that outspeeds Scarf Clown. I think I'll go with probably Ferrothorn initially here, just for spike stack, because Lando Ferrothorn is such a good defensive core anyway. Let's go ahead and do that right here. So leftovers Ferrothorn with Leech Seed, Spikes, and then dual attacks right here. Gyro Ball and Power Whip. So the reason I can run Spikes is because I have rocks on this already, which I like a lot. We'll go ahead and run 248. I believe they run 232 now. Yeah, so 232 here. And then the remaining 24, we can just run max in that. Remaining 24 in defense. So that looks good to me. Obviously, we're going to run minus speed nature right here for maximum power Gyro Ball, and that looks good. So triple steel is interesting, especially considering 2 of them are the exact same type, but should be a lot of fun right here. I actually really like the look of the team so far. We can obviously change anything we want to while battling, but let's go ahead and get right into the games. Alright, I got the first game right here. My opponent seems to be running a balanced sort of build, which is definitely very fun. I think Mega Latios and Magnezone look amazing right here. I do need to get in safely against Celesteela. I'm going to lead off here with Feeny, expecting Garchomp lead for the rocks right away. Mew could also be the rocker, and I definitely want to just Nature's Madness and taunt this down. I might take a knockoff here, but I'm not too worried about that. I got to keep Ferrothorn healthy just to take a hit from Zam, I think, and maybe get spikes against that thing. Yeah, Mega Zam is a giant threat here too. Definitely got to be careful about that. Focus Blast will Oko my Magnezone. Kartana can check it, but it's not the most reliable check. This right here is amazing. Especially because I think I just go Magnezone. I really don't mind taking the damage with it, and if I get rid of Celesteela right away, that's going to open up my Kartana a lot. They do go for Flamethrower, but this thing's gone now, so that's amazing. I think Volt Switch should kill it. After all, it is choice specs, so... And I will outspeed this, most likely. So I'll go right here for Volt Switch, and... be able to knock them out here. I'm dead. They're definitely locked in here. So I get rid of Celesteela right away for a bit of damage on Magnezone. That's totally fine with me. Do not mind that at all. If I go Landorus-T, I kind of force out the Zapdos in, or I could, I guess, force out Mewtwo. That would be fine. So let's go out into Landorus-T right here. If they go Zam, I think it's safe to assume they have Hidden Power Ice. This double Psychic offensive core is actually really cool. I like the look of that. So what endgame am I going for? I think maybe Scarf Leaf Blade could be a thing if they play their Zapdos poorly, but I'm not really banking on that right here. In this scenario, I think I just go Tapu Fini, as they decide to go out into Garchomp. Not quite sure what switch they were expecting, but that's okay. I can just go ahead and Moonblast this into range of Leaf Blade, I think. The other option would be going back into Landorus-T right here, but if they Swords Dance and knock me out with the Z move, that would be pretty upsetting. So they go ahead and bring on their Toxapex. I do have Taunt on this set. They can always go for Scald and try to burn me and whatnot, but that's not the biggest deal. Yeah, no Toxic Spikes through this opponent here. And, I mean, I think I just go out into Magnezone now on a Scald. Yeah, that's fine. They're probably going out into Garchomp here because that's their only switch into a Flash Cannon, so I'll go ahead and Flash Cannon into that and do a really nice amount of damage there, actually. That's really good. And now I can go ahead and get in Landorus-T because I'm expecting either Zapdos to come out here, and I want to trade rocks with them if possible, so let's go ahead and just throw those up now. Zapdos does come in, which is totally fine. So the thing is, Magnezone's good at all, but it only gets in against Toxapex. Do I really care? Because I could just stay in here and get a slow U-turn off. I really don't want Latios getting Discharge Paralyzed. I feel like that would be a mistake. Yeah, I can't let Latios get Discharge Paralyzed. I'm going to sack my Magnezone, I think. Now, let's go Latios. They do go for Discharge, so good prediction, but I'm really glad I didn't get paralyzed right there. That's the big thing. I can just go ahead and recover up this turn, as they may go out into Mew. I guess attacking is not a bad play, too. Let's just go ahead and go for Ice Beam here, especially if they want to stay in, because that's great damage for Kartana. In fact, they just lost to Kartana, I think. Let's go right here for another Ice Beam. And they give me the Zapdos, which means Scarf Kartana is going to have a lot of fun this game now. Alakazam is what they decide to bring in here. I think in the scenario that we're in right now, I really don't need Magnezone at this point in the game. Mega Latios is still good against Garchomp and Toxapex, so I definitely want to keep that. Do I keep Magnezone or not at this point? I don't think it's worth keeping it. I can just sack it and then go Landorus-T and maybe fire off a Z-Fly or a U-turn. Yeah, let's do that. I'll sack off my Magnezone here. A Calm Mind is definitely a good play, but I still have Scarf Kartana to check this at the end of the day, so that's not the biggest deal. They can go ahead and Mega Evolve and knock me out here with Psychic, because this is not Sash, it would be Mega. Let me go ahead and calc my Kartana, because that's my win condition, and I gotta be really careful. Alakazam Mega. Okay, so knockoff guaranteed kills it, meaning I can go Kartana here. Are they really Sash Zam? I'm actually kind of worried about that. I'm gonna go Kartana here. This should be their Mega Evolution. And I can just Scarf knockoff here and knock it out. Yeah, they just go down, so that thing's out of the game now, and they just go ahead and forfeit. Yeah, the moment they played their Zapdos super poorly against my Latios, they lost the game to Kartana, so we're able to go ahead and win that one, and I'll be right back with another game. Alright, I got the next game right here. My opponent has a Mega Zard squad, which is absolutely terrifying. I'm gonna lead off here with my Latios, because Worst Lead is their Mew, and I can just go ahead and bring out my Tapu Fini on that. They actually decide to lead off with their Ferrothorn. I don't want to get Landorus too weakened, and I have my Magnezone here. I'm actually gonna Earthquake predicting Drill to come out. They actually just stayed in and left it in against Magnezone. I'm very surprised about that one, but they got me there. I'll go Magnezone this turn. I'm so tempted to just Earthquake again, man. They could go Mew as a mid-ground, I guess. I'll go Magnezone this turn. And they get in Charizard. Yeah, I got the play wrong. So I gotta figure out what Charizard this is. Fini I have to keep healthy. I think I just go Latios, as they decide to Mega Evolve into this and go right for Fire Punch. That's fine. Their switch-in would be Mew. I can just recover up this turn. I don't think you risk Draco. I need to get this play right eventually. Am I gonna predict the double this time or not? Okay, they stayed in just to get up their hazards. I can defog later with Fini, so this thing's gone. Yep, goodbye. So I get rid of Ferrothorn. That's gonna help out my Latios a lot. And Charizard comes out here. Okay, so I go hard Landorus and try to prevent a Dragon Knight sweep. This is stronger, right? That's not going to do anything. Yeah, and this should Oko. Yeah, down goes Charizard right there. So I'm in a weaker spot against Drill now. This time, this is where I go Feeny and try to defog. As they try to Wisp me, that's fine. That was actually a mistake. It could have been a setup set, so I definitely kind of messed up there. But yeah, they just go ahead and forfeit, seeing that the defog is coming. They really can't do anything in that scenario. I think they played their Zard really badly. Had they just gone on, like had they gone Drill first and tried to weaken my Landorus, since that was my best pivot, they could have maybe just went with Zard, but they ended up just sacking it earlier, which is totally cool with me, and I'll be right back with another game. Alright, my next matchup here is going to be up against some Coco Lucha offense, which is very tough for sure, especially because I really can't switch in Landorus because it's my only way of dealing with Hawlucha itself. I'm going to lead off here with the Latios against Medicham. If they want to trade Latios for like 80% on this thing, I will gladly take it. I think I'll go Feeny, as they go for a Fake Out. Okay, I think that was a good maneuver, because Latios is so good right here, and I really was not expecting a Zen Headbutt out of all plays right there. Here I can just go for Moonblast into Coco. Got a really clutch drop right there, which is going to help me out a bit. I think I just stay in, because if they go out into... If I go Ferrothorn and they go Medicham, I just lose my Amon, which is going to be really tough, so... I really can't allow them to do that. I'll just go for a double Moonblast here, as they decide to go out into Landorus T, so they try to make a play and it doesn't work out. I'll just go Latios this time on the Stealth Rocks, and this allows me to fire off an attack here, so... I think I just want to go for Ice Beam, but I'm going to Earthquake predicting Magearna, because damage on that is amazing for my Kartana, so... Let's go ahead and Earthquake that thing. It doesn't reveal to be lefties, which is interesting. So it's probably a setup set, meaning I have to go Ferrothorn here. They double to Landorus T, which is not the end of the world. I think I can live with Rocks being up this game. It shouldn't be the biggest deal. I can just Leech Seed up here on hard Medicham. And I can't let Feeny go down. Do I need Magnezone in this game? Nah, Magnezone looks very useless. I'll go Magnezone here on an Ice Punch, interestingly. So now I can go Feeny on the high jump kick, perhaps. Or Latios. Latios is fine on the high jump kick. Yeah, so I do get in here, and this turn I can just go right for a recover. As Magearna comes in. So they are healing it just nicely right here, which is a little bit frustrating, but I did get good damage on that Medicham right there, so... Here I'll go Ferrothorn, as they decide to go for a Flare Cannon. Definitely a mistake on their end. Gives me another Leech Seed here, as they decide to go out into Landorus T. That's fine, I'll just double Leech Seed here into Medicham. And this time, I still can't let Landorus get weakened. I think I can beat Greninja without Feeny, so I'll go Feeny here. They crit the high jump kick, which I guess in theory they would have 2-hit KO'd me. And then they hit the next one. Okay, a little bit sad right there. I definitely think that could have gone better, but I get in Latios now, and I just get to click, like, Earthquake. Actually, I guess I'll click Psychic here. Hard Greninja. That's an interesting one. I'll go Ferrothorn on the Spike. Is my Defogger dead? So I just start getting up my own hazards now, too. Yeah, this is fine. And I'll Gyro Ball here in case they go hard Medicham, because Landorus T is not the biggest deal. I'll just Leech Seed up and get up my last hazard, perhaps. Smackdown. They expect my own Landorus to come in. Okay, and this turn I can just go perhaps Lottie here on the Smackdown, and I'm able to go ahead and get these turns right. So here I can just go for Ice Beam and knock that out. Nice. So I'm still in a tough spot. They have 3 spikes and a Rocks on my side of the field, so I gotta somehow deal with all this. That takes a lot. Wow. I'm gonna Earthquake here, expecting a Volt Switch. Yeah, they should go Magearna. Hard Greninja, okay. So I can actually recover this later, so I'll just go Ferrothorn on the Dark Pulse and click. Just go Gyro Ball here. It would be really nice if that didn't happen again. Nice, so I do get out of that scenario in a good spot. Landorus T is still healthy enough for Hawlucha, which is what I actually really need here, so that's going to help me out a lot too. And I think in the endgame, I can just win with Scarf Kartana Smart Strike, if it comes down to that. Yeah, this is why I love Fly Z Lando. It's actually a set that can check Hawlucha while still doing its job against others. So I go Landorus T here. And I just go for this nice Supersonic Sky Strike. They can't knock me out with anything. And then I believe I just win the game with Scarf Cart. I don't know why they switched that out. Hello? Now you don't get your Unburden boost. I can just sack off Ferrothorn here. Then I think I just go Cart and click Smart Strike for the win, right? Hard Magearna, okay. I don't know why they switched that out. It dies on when it comes in. Do they think they have another Electric Seed? That's not how that works, man. I think they get another Electric Seed. That did live. But I just got into this now and click U-turn. And that'll knock it out and that thing dies on entry. Yeah, that's not going to help. This thing will not live a U-turn, so that's not going to do anything. And we are able to go ahead and win that game. I'm surprised +1 Smart Strike actually didn't knock out Hawlucha, but I guess they do run some investment because they don't actually need the speed with the Unburden boost, so we're able to go ahead and take down that team, which is very cool, and I'll be right back with another one. Alright, I got the next game right here. We've managed to do quite well in the games leading up to now. However, this team has Sticky Webs, which is always a tough matchup. However, a lot of my Pokemon really do not care. Now that I'm looking at this, how fast does Araquanid reach? I don't know, but I think Magnezone should outspeed it. If they lead Mega Lopunny, though, that would be bad. Would Landorus T help me out against Araquanid? I do need Landorus here. Magnezone can trap Ferrothorn. Yeah, I think I just lead Landorus over that Pokemon. They decide to lead off with their own, which is fine. I'll just go for Rocks here. Even if it means taking an HP Ice or whatever, that's okay. And this next turn, I can just go Latios on maybe a U-turn. Okay, I didn't expect the crit U-turn to come out. That's actually really terrible. Like, I definitely acknowledged that I could recover it up later, but the fact that my Latios is out of the game now means I don't think I have a way of winning. If they could choke, like, both their steals, I can win with Kartana, but that's, like, really ridiculous. Yeah, watch them go Ferrothorn. That would be so funny if they went Ferro. Magnezone. Wow, that actually really sucks. You could argue that I shouldn't have risked that right there, but I would have lived it. And that was the whole mindset. Well, okay. Let's go for U-turn now. As their Landorus T comes back in. Nice Tandorus L. Let's go ahead and bring in my Feeny here. Well, I'm really sad about that. Let's just Nature's Madness this down. I still have, like, my Fairy to check in alive, which is very good. I'm really weak to Mega Lopunny now. Okay, I think a Moonblast will knock them out from that range. Because they're, like, fully offensive. They go Magnezone, which makes sense. Yeah, I'm able to eat that up because it's probably Scarf. And I'll just go for Supersonic Sky Strike here in case they try to sack off their own Lando. This guy does not care. Well, he Scarfed into Flash Cannon, so I'll go Landorus. I'll go Magnezone of my own here. Okay, so I get rid of Ferrothorn. Does that help me out? Actually, wait a minute. I can win with the Leaf Blade. In fact, I think I do win with the Leaf Blade. If you have Protect, you click that and then die, man. Because this guy just gave me all the damage I need on Magnezone, Ferrothorn, and Landorus, so I think I win with the Leaf Blade in every scenario here. They try to double Protect, which is not going to work out. Yeah, I have damage I need on everything. I think I just win. This one's tough. Because I can't let them get webs up, that's the thing. I think I know what I have to do here. I'll go Landorus to Intimidate it. Oh, they have Power Up Punch, okay. So that means Ferrothorn doesn't live one of these, right? Lopunny against Ferrothorn. Yeah, I do die, meaning Kartana is my only play. And I have to click Sacred Sword. Okay, I think I see what I do here. I sack this off, come back in and try to Leaf Blade sweep now. Nice. Let's get back in here. And this is where I go for it. I think it wins. I'm pretty sure this will sweep through their team just fine here. This will not live a Leaf Blade. Yep, I knocked that out, and I think Kartana has the game secured. They messed up with their Ferrothorn big time. And yeah, this will die, this will die, this will die. Even 3 fake outs, even 3 crit fake outs will not do the job. This will not outspeed me and die. Later. And they've just stopped their own fake out from working. So we're able to go ahead and win that one. That crit was really scary. The plan was get in there because I knew I could take 1 and maybe recover. But in hindsight, I shouldn't have risked like Supersonic Sky Strike there anyway. That was definitely a big misplay on my part, but I'll take the win and I'll be right back. Okay, so for the next matchup right here, we have dual screens. I say dual because they have dual screens Coco probably and dual screens Klefki, which is interesting for sure. Not quite sure what I want to think about that. I'm going to lead Magnezone because nothing else actually takes a T-Wave. That's not very good. I'll go Latios on this thing because I can just go ahead and force out T-Tar, maybe get an Earthquake off. They just go for Rocks. That's not the biggest deal. I'll go right here for just an Ice Beam. They taunt, I guess maybe expecting like Rocks of my own or a Defog. That's all I can think of. They do Thaw right away, which is kind of lame, but I guess in hindsight, Freeze is hacks, so what can I do? It's probably Dragon Dance on that thing. Coco comes out. Are you actually not dual screens? This is dual screens for sure. And I don't really need this Pokemon anyway. I'm clicking Earthquake. Yeah, take a nice 68 there. I can just go for Earthquake again and knock out their screen setter. Nice. So that's really good. I don't know how well Hawlucha takes my attacks behind the screen from Landorus-T. Worst case scenario, Feeny lives one too. This one's an interesting pick because I think I go hard Kartana and try to Sacred Sword it. Because yeah, it's going to Dragon Dance. I need to Sacred Sword here and see how much damage I can do. They Dragon Dance again. They might not outspeed me if they're Adamant, but I guess we'll find out here. They are Adamant and go for Fire Punch, okay. So they have Fire Punch. None of these are plays. I have to go Landorus. And then I think what I do is I sack my Magnezone to the Ice Punch. No, I don't think they have Ice Punch. They would be Stone Edge Earthquake. I'm just going to Earthquake of my own here. I'll take a Stone Edge for sure, but I don't know if I knock them out, and that's going to be a really tough scenario. If I don't knock them out, I could just lose to one of these two. I don't know, it's going to depend on what they have on their Porygon, because if they're only Tri-Attack and then Bolt Beam, I'm pretty sure Magnezone can take that on. But if they're the Ghost Z conversion set with Shadow Ball, I think I'd just lose to it. They have Crunch, that won't knock me out. Can this knock them out through that screen? Nope, it doesn't. Okay, Iron Barbs. You know what would be amazing right here if I was Thunder Wave Ferrothorn? That would be huge. So I'll just Gyro Ball it. They are electric, so that's good. I actually needed them to be electric. I needed that damage too for my Magnezone's attack, because now I don't knock it out, which is super bad. In fact, I just lost. Unless I crit now. I guess maybe I wasn't doing enough damage anyway. Let's see here. Because they're +1 and it's resisted. This is stronger. Yeah, I lost to this anyway. There's no way Thunderbolt would have helped me out right there. The combination of these setup sweepers just deals with my team really well. And maybe I could have played my Kartana differently, but they're actually going for a recover. I can't paralyze this. There's no reason for me to stay in this game. I'll go ahead and forfeit that one, unfortunately, and that's going to be that. I knew for a fact once my Landorus took damage and my Ferrothorn got weakened, I would not have been able to beat this set. And yeah, that's going to be that. So I'll be right back with another one. Okay, this opponent's using that OU sample team that requires like no skill at all. I used this once, and if you just never switch out, you win like 90% of your games right here. I'll lead Latios on Thunders because I know this is Flyinium Z. This just gives me an Ice Beam turn 1, and it should be able to knock this out. That's not a play. You're going to go down to this, man. Yeah, goodbye. I don't know why they did that. Greninja comes in. I even know this is like some sort of Protean set, so I'll just go for Psychic here. Take the Ice Beam. And I think I go Feeny now. On the next Ice Beam, because I don't need that healthy at all. I just need to be alive. And here I can just go for Moonblast on the Spike. Knock that Pokemon out. Excadrill comes in, so they want Rocks up. I'd also want my Rocks up, so I'll be doing that now. And then here I can just Earthquake. And I guess I'll U-turn here, because I'm not going to get my hazards up anyway. Feeny literally prevents setup from anything, so I can just go out into that. If Magearna comes out, I taunt it, then go Magnezone, I think. Actually, no, because Magnezone doesn't outspeed that. I taunt this. Yeah, no way, man. I go for Nature's Madness now. On the Earthquake, Moonblast it down a bit. It's twice as fine here. They sack it off. I literally taunt Magearna too. It's nothing setting up on me, man. No. Nature's Madness that down. And then I think Landorus just seals up the deal. Can I choke against maybe Como if I go Landorus? Is there a better play here? Latios, I think, just guarantees. No, Latios does on entry now. I didn't realize it was that low. I might lose. Yeah, I might lose to Como because I thought Latios came in on entry hazards this entire time. Okay, let's go Landorus. Click Earthquake here. Como is gonna go for that Z. If I got into this, do I stop it? I do. Okay, let's go into this here. Maybe this will live a Clinging Scales. I think it does. They try to Dragon Dance and I just win. Okay, so actually, I'm glad I remembered that if I just sack off my Latios, they don't get the Cling or Soul Blaze off. That was very important, and I'll be right back with another game. Okay, so this opponent here is earning Reuniclus, which is a Pokemon that I always struggle against. I gotta keep Feeny just for that. Or I actually just automatically lose to Calm Mind Acid Armor, I'm not gonna lie. I think as a lead right here, Ferrothorn does well against Seismitoad. Yeah, because that should be their lead. I can just go right here for Power Whip. If they Scald Burn me turn 1, I'll be sad, but I don't think they will. They'll either go for Rocks or go Charizard here, and I don't know, if Charizard comes out, I gotta predict its typing. I'll probably go Landorus initially. Actually, Landorus is my Kartana check. I could also go Feeny here, but like I said, I need to keep Feeny at full just for Reuni. Every time Reuni comes in too, they literally just click Psychic Weaken my Feeny, and eventually they'll get it to the point where they can just use it for a Calm Mind sweep, so I don't know really what I'm gonna do here. So maybe I should actually let Landorus to get up rocks. They go Charizard. They take 14%, meaning I don't know what that is. I'll go Landorus. It is Zardex, nice. So I do get that right, which is really nice here. I actually think Tornadus should die to a Supersonic Sky Strike, so I'm going to go for that here. This should die to Earthquake because of that. Yeah, I think this dies to Earthquake, nice. So they give me Seismitoad. I'm still going to roost to Reuni, maybe? I think I do. Kartana? I actually need to save this just for the Zard, so I think Lottie here is okay. On Sacred Sword. Just gives me, I think I just Earthquake here on the T-Tar. Yeah, because it's the most obvious switch in ever. I think if I get a good roll here, I can maybe knock them out with the next hit. Never mind. So I really have no business staying in, unless do I think they would go for Pursuit again? Because I can attempt to recover here. They're still doing too much. I'll just take the double down. I'll Ice Beam in case they go Torn, but this is not the end of the world. I'll just go ahead and I'll trade my Torn for my Lottie for this Tyranitar. Yeah, go down to Sandstorm, and that's not the biggest deal. I think here I just go probably Magnezone on Torn. Landorus, sorry. And the reason I did this is because, like I said, I really can't allow Charizard to do the thing. If Landorus gets weakened, Charizard instantly wins the game, so let's go right here for a Gyro Ball. On the knockoff, they decide to take a lot of damage with that, which is interesting for sure. Here I'll Leech Seed because Charizard might come in. And this will give me my Tandurus here. Really good Torn double. And I think I just go Magnezone. This guy keeps on trying to bank off my Choke, but it's not happening. It just gives me a Volt Switch. They give me Torn, which I don't understand that one either. So I have my checks to these last two Pokemon intact here, which is really cool. In fact, I think here I just go Feeny, because it'll force out probably the Charizard or Kartana. And I have good responses to both, so yep, Kartana comes in. I think I just go Kart of my own. on the Leaf Blade. Then what I do here is I click Knockoff. Hard Reuniclus, that's a Z Reuni. I go Feeny here. Click Nature's Madness on maybe Kartana coming in. Charizard coming in is not a threat because I go Landorus every time. And this gives me a free Earthquake on something. They give me the Charizard, okay, that's beautiful. I just need to make sure this thing does not sweep me with its Calm Mind stuff. So I taunt it here, make sure it doesn't recover again. The fact that it's not Z is amazing. Shattered Psyche. That doesn't matter. I just need to hit this Nature's Madness to weaken it into range of things. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, I needed that. How much did my knockoff do earlier? 38, right? Knockoff did... Why am I not finding this attack? Hello, knockoff? Where was this? 38. Could be a roll. Do I risk that? I don't think Landorus even kills it, so I'll go Kartana here. Hit him up with the knockoff, and then I think Landorus should beat their cart. Goodbye. Intimidate, come back in Sacred Sword. I think I'll knock off here. Did I just mess up? No, I didn't. Because this will live. Yeah, and they don't even knock me out. They go for Leaf Blade because they know they have to go Landorus to maybe choke there. I think in hindsight, if they were Scarf, which they were, right? No, they were banned, which means I actually should have had them locked into whatever attack they clicked. Had they gone for Sacred Sword and I just stayed in, I had to just switched out, I would have been fine. But had they been like SD cart and I switched out, I would have actually lost the game. So that's kind of my mindset because my Magnezone didn't have its Scarf. Actually, it wasn't even Scarf, it was Specs. So I tried to just prevent a SD cart sweep at the end right there. And I'll be right back with one final game. Alright, my last opponent here is going to be running a pretty offensive team right here. Gotta be careful about Ment, as usual. Ment is always a giant threat. Sky Strike Landorus is great, except they have Rotom, so I gotta be careful about that. I'm expecting maybe Final Gambit Victini lead or Mega Lopunny. And against both, I like Lati. That's Protean because of their gender, so... Ferrothorn's not bad. They go for U-turn and take some chip. Okay, cool. That's fine. Victini can come in. I don't mind it all too much. I think I just use Lati as my pivot. I can't let that thing get weakened by Bolt Strike. In this scenario, I can just recover up. Because that looks to be Banded. Actually, that could be Scarf. Banded would definitely do more to Lati. It's probably Scarf. I'll go Landorus here on Ment. So unless there's Specs Hydro Pump, I will be clicking Supersonic Sky Strike here. And knocking out their Ments. Yeah, there we go. I love Z-Fly Lando, even if it's defensive. It's such a good set. I go Ferrothorn here, I think. On a Gunk Shot. They expected Feeny to come in, but Feeny's too important for, like, Lopunny and Rotom. I guess Nature's Madness mainly. I just want to preserve that pressure. They decide to go Rotom Wash on my Power Whip, which is totally fine. This could be Thunder Wave, so I'm actually going to use Magnezone as my pivot here on the Wisp. That's fine, because they don't have a Ground type. Meaning I just get a Volt Switch off, and that's going to knock that out. Cool. And I just go Lati here. Because it lives a hit from Victini and Lopunny. I think I live Fake Out plus Return at least. I'll just go Magnezone on the rocks, and just knock this out too. I don't know what win they're going for, because that's not a Z-Celebrate Victini. So Lop comes in here. They actually go Victini. I think I can just go Landorus at this point. Glaciate's really cool, actually. I didn't expect that. Okay, I'll go Feeny here, though, because Feeny is very free. I literally just Nature's Madness on the Bolt Strike. I'm only doing this because Ferrothorn still beats Gren. Why did their second Bolt Strike do so much more? Are they Metronome? I guess they're Metronome. Okay, let's do this here. I think Sacred Sword should knock them out at -1. I'll just Leaf Blade into the Lop. Yeah, that's definitely a Metronome. There's no way it does 40 then 50, unless I missed something. Okay. Which means the Gren is probably the Scarfer, and how do I beat Scarf Gren or Ferrothorn is mess check. So it looks like we should be fine against Neil Patel for win here. Yeah, Greninja has to come out. At this point, I just sack Landorus tee off on the Victini coming in. Glaciate's not going to matter. I go Lati here and click Earthquake. As they go Greninja. I sack my Magnezone here on the U-turn. Now I just sack this off. I go Lati again and click Earthquake. Knock that out, and then they have to Ice Beam Freeze my Pharaoh. Yep, don't get frozen, Ferrothorn. I did not get frozen, and that's going to be that. So that's going to be a, I believe, 7-1 live, which I will definitely take. We were able to do quite well here, so that was definitely good. The one match where I lost was against that setup spam team with the Porygon Z. And I mean, while the luck factor definitely was not the best that game, I think I could have maybe pivoted around better to maybe deal with their setup, but still a very successful live. I really like this team, actually. We did not have to make any changes. It'll be down below in the description in case you guys do want to try it out. I actually really make changes on this series. I usually only do them if the team is like really falling apart mid recording right here, so that's going to be cool, and I'll see you next time. Later.